Welcome back to the Combo Cabal. I am your host, Bryant Cook, and everyone has been going nuts today, pun intended, for the Squirrel Storm video. It went live about 6 hours ago, and it's already eclipsed the Twiddle Storm's results from the first day. So I am looking forward to seeing in a few days if this Squirrel Storm video passes the Twitter Storm on our all-time most viewed video, because it's just going insane right now. So thank you to everyone that's watched that, and if you haven't watched it yet, you can click on the card above and that will bring you to Squirrel Storm. I wouldn't be shocked if Squirrel Storm, aka Chatterstorm, is banned in the upcoming month. Like, if it's legal for longer than a month, I would just be blown away. But we're here to talk about Legacy today, and last night I played 2 leagues with 2 different lists. Alex McKinley also played 2 leagues with 2 different lists. And we were trying out 4 Strike It Rich. And we liked Strike It Rich as a way of enabling Metalcraft from Mox Opal. For those of you unaware, Strike It Rich is a 1-red sorcery that says create a treasure token. And treasure tokens are essentially just token versions of Lotus Petal. And then it has flashback for 2 in a red. So it makes mana that you can store later with Strike It Rich, and then you get, a Lotus Petal that enables Mox Opal, which is pretty cool. I like it quite a bit. So the problem is that the format's really aggressive right now. In 10 matches, I faced Death and Taxes 3 times. Alex in 10 matches faced Death and Taxes twice. And on top of that, I only faced 2 blue decks out of all 10. So the format was just really fast. And I felt like our deck didn't have enough mana in it to be quick. And when I did face a blue deck, it was Blue-Red Delver that's really aggressive with Chain Lightnings and Bolts, and we were just too far behind. Our life total got low, Ad Nauseam wasn't reliable. So when the metagame is fast, Rite of Flame makes a lot of sense over Mishra's Bauble or Strike It Rich, because it gives you that extra mana and acceleration to be quick. So we didn't want to give up Strike It Rich because it was so impressive in our testing, and Rite of Flame in conjunction with Strike It Rich has a lot of potential, because it's essentially a Manamorphose that gives you Metalcraft, which is just beautiful. Shoutouts to Max Carini for the suggestion. Max, I do appreciate you. And it came at a cost. So we're not playing all 4 Rite of Flame in the main deck, and we lost the 3rd copy of Chrome Mox. So we're fitting the Rite of Flame into the board as a Burning Wish target that you can sideboard in against non-blue decks, and then that way you'll have all 4. And then the 3rd copy of Chrome Mox. The Chrome Mox will be missed likely off of Ad Nauseams, but that said, there's a lot of situations right now where we're playing out Chrome Mox just for Metalcraft, and you'd rather it be a Strike It Rich in those scenarios. So we're running a split here. You're obviously, you don't have to run Strike It Rich, but I'm testing it today because I think this interaction between Rite of Flame and Strike It Rich is going to be very good. Yeah, so that's the only Modern Horizons 2 card in the main deck. And then we switched back to 3 Bloodstained Mire over 3 Verdant Catacombs because there's no copies of Carpet of Flowers in the board. Carpet of Flowers isn't super good at the moment. If the best Delver deck in the format is Blue-Red Delver that runs a basic mountain, but is also very quick at killing you, you don't get the mana advantage from Carpet of Flowers that you do in the slower Delver matchups. So therefore, Carpet isn't very good at the moment. So what do we do with those carpet slots? Well, the first one was a Massacre. I mentioned that in 20 matches between myself and Alex last night, we faced Death and Taxes 5 times. Twice, actually, there was game 1s that I conceded where if Massacre was in my board, I probably would have won. So Massacre is back, at least for the time being. A lot of people are looking forward to testing Esper Sentinel, which is just a glorified Rhystic study, so we need to be prepared by having Massacre. After that, we added in a Rite of Flame in that carpet slot. And then another Modern Horizons 2 card, Galvanic Relay. If you didn't see my video that I made with Alex, once again, card above, on the Modern Horizons 2 Storm cards, this was a card that we were excited to play. Well, in the first list we tried last night, we played 3, with the idea that we would board in 2 against Delver. And that was pretty cool. So we were taking out Ad Nauseam and then a Strike It Rich initially when we had 4 copies of Strike. And we were boarding in Relay. The problem is you can't use Wishclaw Talisman to go get it. So you have to open hand it. And that means that you have to open hand it with your acceleration pieces, or else it's just really slow and clunky. And if you draw it late game, your life total is probably going to be too low and they'll just kill you. And it was pretty noticeable that this card just wasn't cutting it for us. we had both cast it at, I believe we cast it 3 times, and every time we cast it, we actually died the following turn. So Galvanic Relay, it wasn't super reliable, and I was ready to cut it completely until we started talking about Rite of Flame again. When you're running Rite of Flame, this card opens up a lot of possibilities. Because there's going to be situations where you have double red and you can relay for 7 cards against a blue deck that chose not to force your Burning Wish. And, you know, it's going to be good. So we are testing this out as a singleton, just as a wish target, not a card to board in. Chatterstorm. I had 1 win with it that I posted to Twitter that was pretty cool, but it was only used the 1 time. On its own, it's not super good. So with Rite of Flame in the deck, it does get a little bit better. Just a little bit. And because you could, in theory, chatter for 6 or 7 on turn 1, but I don't know how many legacy decks lose to 6 or 7 scroll tokens on turn 1. The value from Chatterstorm really comes from a fizzled ad nauseum, where you can't win, which is what happened in my screenshot, or an Echo where you can't get up to 6 mana, but you can get up to 4. And it's just not super reliable. Like, yes, winning with squirrels is super funny, and we love memes, but we're testing for the showcase right now. We're looking to be as competitive as possible, and Chatterstorm just doesn't cut it. And then here we'll see Aeve Progenitor Ooze. That's actually the first card that Alex and I talked about in the video, and we both said that due to getting it with Infernal Tutor, it was better in Ad Nauseam Tendrils than the Epic Storm. Well, we might have changed our opinions on that, and that's because, like the Galvanic Relay, we're looking to board out Ad Nauseam versus Blue-Red Delver and bring in Aeve. And initially we were like, well, we don't want to get it with Claw because then we're giving our opponent a Claw to answer our Aeve. Current Blue-Red Delver lists have 0 outs to Progenitor Ooze or any of the tokens. Engineered Explosives would have to be for 5 to kill the tokens, not 0. So if you can resolve Aeve against them, you're going to get, you know, 5, 6 oozes, and they have 0 outs even with a Wish Claw. It does require passing the turn, but it's more reliable than Ad Nauseam, at least in theory. So we're testing the Aeve in the main deck. Alright, so announcement time. Brian Koval has convinced me to try a new bit of software for this video. And, you know, shout out to Phil Gallagher as well, who showed me that maybe it doesn't look that bad when you're on camera as well. So this new bit of software will cut out dead air time when I'm recording. So you might see me move a little sporadically in the corner. It shouldn't be too bad. I might just like move a little bit. But the benefit is my videos will be shorter. I'm hoping this is the first one, so I don't have any solid data yet, but a lot of the Epic Storm videos go from about 1 hour and 15 minutes to 1 hour and 25 minutes on the long end. I'm hoping that this brings us under an hour, maybe even 50 minutes. If it does that, I think that will be a pretty big improvement to our videos here on this channel. And yeah, so hopefully this video looks good. If you think it looks bad, you like it, you don't like it, let me know down below in the comments. While you're down there, make sure to hit subscribe, join the Combo Cabal, be a good Stormtrooper. We'd all love it. Yeah, I think that's what I have for the announcements. And as always, I'm going to make this quick. You can sign up for a donation deck. That's a great way of supporting this content. Or you can go to theepicstorm.com/shop. We have a variety of sweet, sweet Storm merch for you to pick up. But I don't want to go too long into this. I feel like we're already a little long on the intro as is. I'm really, really interested in knowing how you think the edited time looks. Hopefully it's not too bad. That's what I have. So I will see you in round number 1. I really want to Aeve someone in this video. Let's make it happen. I've yet to cast it. And I also am really looking forward to seeing how good Rite of Flame is paired with Strike It Rich. Those are the things to be on the lookout for. I'm sorry I just hit my mic. I'll see you in round number 1. Don't go anywhere. Welcome to round number 1. We're on the draw against BladeofIce, who has a long history of playing Elves. Yeah, so this hand is probably a little bit too slow against Elves. Our opponent is taking a mulligan to 6, so we're going to do the same. And this is probably okay. Hopefully our opponent goes to 5. We're likely going to bottom the Tendrils of Agony here. It looks like they've also kept 6. I'm a little bit worried that this hand is just too slow. Elves got a really big pickup in the form of the green Urborg when you pair it with Gaia's Cradle. Okay, so they've played a turn 1 Birchlaw Ranger. We're going to cast Ponder here looking for Lion's Eye Diamond. And we found it, but we also found these Veil of Summers. Lion's Eye Diamond is so good we're actually going to keep this, but we're not really happy about having to pass the turn on turn 2. And let's see what our opponent does here. Alright, Wooded Foothills and an attack. That's a turn 2 that I don't mind. Alright, we're going to fetch we're fetching with Verdant Catacombs here, getting Taiga. Playing Wishclaw. Alright, so we're looking to dodge a Green Sun Zenith for a main deck card. It's pretty terrifying here. I almost don't even want to say it because I don't want to wish it into existence. There's also a 4-mana sorcery I don't think we want to see. Alright, so Dryad Arbor. And they're going for it. Glimpse of Nature. Quirion Ranger. So now they can tap Birchlaw. Alright, we're going to yield to the Glimpse of Nature. Alistor Shepherd. So they're looking to play a Cradle here. Do they hit Cradle? That's the question. We know that they have a Forest and 4 Unknowns in hand. And they do have the Cradle. So Natural Order here would be brutal. And they have the Order. Alright, I'm going to cast Brainstorm in response, just in case they get Archon. I want to get rid of this Veil of Summer. I think I'd actually rather draw the Veil. Because that means if we end up casting Ad Nauseam, there won't be an additional 1-mana card we don't want in our deck. So Archon is a card we're afraid of here. I think best case scenario, they had a main deck Archon. So if they name Sorcery, we just can't beat this card, unfortunately. And they did. We have no way of winning the game. Alright, we're just going to concede here. Being on the draw was too bad. Bright side, we get to board in this. Get rid of these Veils. We're just looking to speed up post-board. Alright, so Thoughtseize, 2 Decay, Chain of Vapors. You could leave in like Veils for discard spells or Defense Grid for Mindbreak Trap. In my opinion, the best thing you can do is just be the most efficient combo deck possible. And you don't really want to be holding open mana for Veil. You want to be progressing your own game plan. So that's a reason to board out Veil of Summer. And I'm going to click Submit. Hopefully we can get the post-board games. Sign me up. Entering a little bit of data here. We lost our first game, and we're on the play for game number 2, and we kept our 7. Our opponent, BladeofIce, is mulligan to 6. I'm getting a little bit risky here. I'm going to imprint the chain, and the Mox Opal is representing our black source for Wishclaw Talisman. Looking for Dark Ritual or Lion's Eye Diamond off this Ponder. Ding dong. Alright, we have a guaranteed turn 2 Ad Nauseam. Thoughtseize this. They're getting Dryad Arbor here with this Green Sun Zenith. And it's pretty free for us to draw the Lotus Petal. Alright, Petal. And we get to cast Ad Nauseam with only Storm 2, so this does beat a hypothetical Mindbreak on the Nauseam. Okay, Burning Wish. Let's reveal some. Alright, so we do want to find a way of hypothetically beating a Mindbreaker if we can afford to. And that should do it. So we're going to stop here. And our opponent's seen enough. We're going to game number 3. Not bad. Turn 2 on the play. That's what I want to do. Alright. Do we want to change anything for game number 3? I don't think so. I think we're just going to submit our deck and hope for the best. Sure. Keep this for sure. Our opponent's mulligan to 5 currently. So this could be a Galvanic Relay for 5 on turn 1. I don't know if that's actually good enough or not. It could also just be an Echo. or we can try to build up into a pier. Green Sun, okay. I think I'm going to cast this Thoughtseize. Hopefully discard their business spell here. Alright, so they don't have a whole lot going on, which means that I think I'm okay with trying to build up into pier instead of playing out Galvanic Relay. Alternatively, I could just cast Burning Wish for Relay next turn, but that's like sort of a longer setup. So they drew Reclaimer, and now they're Hellbent, so we can hide their hand. Okay, so we're going to Ponder, and then we can Strike it Rich to create a mana. We're currently 1 mana short of Pier at the moment. I can take the Diamond and play Rite of Flame, Strike it Rich, Diamond, but it only brings me up to 6. And so this is like a preemptive play. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play out my Mire. And by doing that, I have the option of fetching away the Diamond if need be. So I hope this doesn't happen, but if our opponent draws a discard spell and hits our Burning Wish, I won't be time locking myself. Like, yes, I could cast Strike it Rich right here, but I think that's a little bit risky when I can play more safely and have more options by playing out the Mire. We just need our opponent to draw a blank right here. And they're attacking for 4. No. Okay, they're going to keep open Elvish Reclaimer. Completely respectable play. Now we draw the Diamond. There is one card we're afraid of here, but we're not supposed to play around it. Rite of Flame, Rite of Flame. So they could get Bojuka Bog right here. Reading Strike it Rich. Yeah, I want this treasure token. Cast the Lion's Eye Diamond. Hold control. We're going to add some mana. Alright, we have the magic number 7 floating. Now we get Peer into the Abyss. 24 cards. That's what I like to see. And at this point, it's fairly free for us to build into Grapeshot to avoid a Veil of Summer. But then, that again, like, we can Tendrils and still Veil later, so let's just, instead of wasting more time, let's try to keep this video short, and we'll cast Tendrils. Alright, that was in turn 3 against Elves, and we're 1-0 in this league. Stick around, let me know how the video looks. Hopefully it's not too bad. See you in round number 2. Round number 2, we're on the draw against Warmonks. I love me a good Rocks Warmonk. Our opponent's only Goldfish result is Stoneblade. They've taken a mulligan, and I think we're going to keep this due to the power of Brainstorm plus Fetchland as well as Veil of Summer. They're contemplating their 6 cards at the moment. Well, or what card to put back, at least. Alright, let's begin. Flooded Strand, Underground Sea, and Ponder. So they're playing at least a deck with a Black Splash. Sort of interesting. Their last Stoneblade list had red in it. Playing out Petal here, because if I need to Veil, I want to avoid Daze. Some sort of blue mid-range deck. Could be Grixis. Not really sure. Could just be Esper Blade. I think I'm just going to sit on this Brainstorm for a little bit. I don't really want to sacrifice Petal to cast it. And I don't want to fetch and then Brainstorm lock myself. I don't mind just like sitting here. And our opponent cast a Brainstorm. Interesting that they got swamped. There might be a Back to Basics in our future. It's ninjas. Alright. Maybe I don't think I was supposed to be able to read that. The revealed Ornithopter. That's a good one to reveal. Alright, so I think I'm priced into casting this Brainstorm now. Pitch the Strix. Gonna get Trop here to pair with our Badlands, because we can always cast Ponder off Trop if we have to pass the turn. And they have Double Force. Alright. In theory, you could like Petal Ponder looking for Burning Wish, but I feel like that's a little bit of a greedy line. Because it's so specific, like Wishclaw doesn't work in that situation. Retrofitter Foundry. Is this an ad nauseam? So we would play Wishclaw and then have this up. It is an ad naus, but we would lose the days. Alright, so go to 15. I think we're short on Natural Storm. We would need 2 more spells. So like Burning Wish Tendrils could do it, but we're 1 mana short of that. Don't have it. Alright, good signs. 9 life. Alright, so there's a card we don't want to flip now. Does that do it? No, we're still 1 mana short. Still 1 mana short. We can stop there. Okay. Dang almost, our opponent says. I disagree. There was a hooray got there. Sorry, warmonks. Cast Dark Ritual. And then Tendrils for lethal. Woot woot! Going into game 2 now. How should we board against ninjas? It's been so long since I've looked at a ninjas list. Let's see if we can find a good one. I'm just going to search. There it is. Searching's very difficult. Back to Basics is in the board. Thoughtseize. Sanderson's a good player too, so this is probably a pretty decent list. We did see Baleful Strix and Ornithopter, so this could be the list. Force of Negation in the board, Leyline, and Plague Engineer. Yeah, so I don't think I'm supposed to board in any permanent base stuff. I think I'm actually just going to resubmit the same 75 and hope that this is good enough. Okay, so this is fine. We're on the draw, so we have 2 looks at a black source for this Wishclaw. We can put back the ad nauseam if we want. I think that this is actually reasonable. Like, it might not look like it, but I think it's actually fine. And also, if we draw another, like, diamond or something, we can accelerate using Opal into these claws. Perfect. Risk versus reward. And here we're going to cast Wishclaw and then pass. Honestly, I'm sort of hoping that this Wishclaw eats a force. That would be perfect. And it did not. Alright, are we expecting a Yuriko in our future? Let's find out. Vista. So this Thoughtseize is actually sort of unfortunate because now we have to burn the Brainstorm to hide the ad nauseam. And that's fine. We don't actually care about them taking a Lotus Petal. Mox Opal being Lotus Petal because we have 2 of them, and when you play multiples you have to sacrifice 1, which means you're sacrificing a card for a mana, which is a Lotus Petal. So I think in our upkeep I'm actually going to activate Wishclaw for Veil of Summer, so that way I'm not drawing the ad nauseam. And I would expect a ninjutsu here. Alright, so our opponent's going to draw 2 because of the Changeling Outcast. And then replay their Ornithopter, and that will probably be the end of their turn. Alright, so I said we were going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to upkeep, get Veil of Summer. So that way we're shuffling away the ad nauseam. And then get a fresh draw. Perfect. They have 5 cards. We are looking to avoid double force. They did get to just draw 2, unfortunately. Boom! 2-0! I will see you in round number 3. I have bad news. We've been paired into our best friend warmonks all over again. Our ninja's opponent from the previous round. We're keeping this, but we're looking to draw a Lion's Eye Diamond. Warmonks is on the play. Will they be on ninjas again? Scalding Turn isn't usually in ninjas, but you never know. We did see a Flooded Strand in the first game. Let's strike it rich. Just trying to make an innocent little Lotus Petal here. Alright, so they are not on ninjas. Blue-Red Delver. And it is, in fact, Blue-Red Delver. So at least we got a different matchup. Still looking for a diamond. That's probably fine. I guess by playing this pedal out, I avoid double days, so it's fairly free. Something I could do here is just Burning Wish and then go get Galvanic Relay, and then we could relay for 5. But a daze messes that up. If they force, we have to Veil and then draw into another mana source. So I think instead I'm just going to Claw. In theory, you could try to jam right there. I'm just going to pass the turn. I don't think I need to. Alright, Dragon coming in again. Passing with Dragon like that makes me a little bit nervous. I think I'm just going to pass. This says to me that they have double force. Force of negation with the lands and then force of will in hand. The fact that they're just not doing anything is terrifying. Yeah, I'm gonna pass. So in theory, they could like Ultra Storm off, kill us with their dragon. It's just not very probable. So instead of doing that, I'm just gonna pass the turn, play it a little bit safer. Based on them not casting spells, I just imagine they have a lot of counter spells in hand. So I could have tapped Taiga, sacrifice Petal to copy and target dragon. But then they can pay 2 mana and copy it, send it back at me, fight over the dragon with a force or something. It's just really risky. So, but we are going to have to try to win this turn. So diamond off the top is what we want. I'll take a land. So here's the Force of Negation. We know that they have a Force of Will in hand. We just saw the life total change. So we know that they have 1 land in hand and a Force with 2 unknowns. Please resolve. Alright, give us a red source off this. Give me Lotus Petal. Petal. We've already played a land, so that means that we're dead if we pass. Because they still have force. So we're just going to need, like, the greatest echo of all time here. And unfortunately, that was not the case. I'm going to pass. Hopefully we don't die. We're just dead to, like, land, cantrip, cantrip, bolt, I think. So that's 9. They just have to cast 2 spells. And that'll do. Okay. So the current plan is to just take out Ad Nauseam and board an Aeve. And I don't think it's that bad of a plan, so that's what we're going to do here. Like I said, they don't have any answer to Aeve other than racing you, so you can just, like, if you can cast this, it's likely going to win. We lost our first game against Blue-Red Delver. We're on the play now, and hopefully we can get game number 2. If you haven't picked them up yet, I would highly recommend the mini token pack from theepicstorm.com/shop. For $12, you get 54 storm tokens. You get 20 storm tokens, 10 black, 10 red, 6 blue. I'm sorry, 5 blue, 3 of the rest. It's super good value. Make sure to go get yours. Alright, on the play versus Blue-Red Delver. Sure. So, keeping Aeve in the back of my head. I'm going to go fetch up Trop to pair with Badlands for all 4 colors. And then this Bloodstained Mire can get Taiga, and then Petal can cast Aeve if we happen to draw it. Are these cards we want? I mean, I want the Veil. It's just Tendrils is so slow in this matchup. I think I'm going to shuffle. Did not shuffle. Opal isn't super desirable. I could jam Burning Wish right here and go get Galvanic Relay. The problem with that is that it gets dazed. So it's not like the best line. Next turn I can play Wish through Daze. Maybe it will look innocent enough where it just resolves. Yikes. That was very fast. I think I might just get empty here. Do they have 6? They have 6, which probably means that they have a sweeper or something. Or their hands just all burn spells. Okay, so Brainstorm pumps up the Sprite Dragon here. They're likely looking for Blazing Volley, Rough Tumble, something along those lines. And they just snap conceded. Wow. So we've gotten game number 2 with a sneaky empty. How about that? Going into game 3 now. We didn't get to use our Aeve, which is sort of a bummer, but I'll always take a game win. That was turn 3. Natural Storm, sideboard empty. Love to see that. Alright, and once again, we're only going to do the swap for the ad nauseam for the Aeve. I don't think we want to do anything else. I'm just going to hit submit. Want to get this. I mentioned that theepicstorm.com/donation decks is a great way of supporting this Storm content. You can go there, upload your TXT file. You can export your deck list from Magic Online, attach it, pick the tier best suited for you, click submit, and see your combo deck here on this very YouTube channel. Make sure to check that out. This is a pretty solid hand. We're going to try this. This is actually a hand that could cast Aeve. And Warmonks is taking a mulligan. So right now the plan is to play Strike It Rich on turn 1 to give us a mana for Wishclaw on turn 2. And then turn 2 we have guaranteed Aeve, as long as everything resolves. We can't fetch for Volk here, would actually be the best land to get. I think I'm just going to get C. I'm not going to Strike It Rich. Opal, Opal, Opal. You gonna daze me? They did. Main phasing the Brainstorm there dodges Pyroblast, by the way, which makes it a little bit more desirable. They revealed another daze. And in their upkeep, I'm going to Brainstorm, because now if they want to daze, they have to return their land. And if they Pyroblast, they don't have that mana available now. So they can't cast Bright Dragon or Null Rod, and if they daze me, whatever. Looking for another mana source. Life total's getting a little bit low, though. Aeve could get shut off here. Opal's good. So we're going to 10 next turn. I think we're supposed to just pass and not worry about Aeve. We might be able to Natural Storm our opponent out here. Opponent's on 5 cards. 4 cards after the land drop, and an attack from Delver of Secret / Insectile Aberration. Alright, so we are about to draw Veil of Summer. Lion's Eye Diamond. Lion's Eye Diamond. Opal. Let's Strike It Rich. Wishclaw. Stifle. I was not expecting Stifle. We have to be dead if they pitch Stifle. Yeah, they have another Stifle. Wow. Holding the Stifles to the last second in Game 3. Brutal. Yeah, nothing we can do about that. So we have fallen to Blue-Red Delver with Stifles. This was a little bit of an odd list. So, not that our opponent's list is bad by any means. I'm not trying to say that. But, so the first thing that threw me off this round was the main deck Force of Negations. Those have become a little bit less popular in the era of Expressive Iteration. That said, you still see them in some lists. Like, they're not uncommon, but, like, they're in some. So I was like, okay, they could still be, like, an Expressive Iteration list. What threw me off later was we never saw Ragavan, we never saw Dragon Rage Channeler. So that was a little bit odd to me. And we didn't see anything that would signify either card. And I just thought that was a little bit odd. Yeah. I don't know. And like Arid Mesa, like that's not super stock, but it's not unreasonable. And then Stifle, just like nobody's playing that at the moment because of Expressive Iteration makes it really bad. So this list is probably about a month old. No offense to warmonks at all in any way. Like, congratulations, they've defeated me. It is what it is. But if you're looking to face Blue-Red Delver this weekend, you're pretty unlikely to run into a list with Stifle. That's what I'm trying to get across here. Unfortunately, we're 2-1. 2 rounds left to go. Let's just focus on getting those. And our opponent denied us playing Aeve, which is sort of a bummer. In theory, we could have Tendrils. Aeve would dodge Flusterstorm, where Tendrils wouldn't. So if for some reason they were sitting on Fluster, this would have been safer. Just throwing that out there. But I'll see you in round number 4. All right, round number 4. We're on the draw again. 4 rounds in a row. And our opponent has a variety of different blue decks in their Goldfish history. So we're going to keep this. We just need to draw an action spell. Badlands is not what I want to see here. What is this? Is this the mirror? I guess I'm supposed to strike a rich here. Whoops. Wrong card. I don't know what's going on. It might be some sort of madness deck? Did I just call that? Wow. So they have double Vengevine. Jeez. So they actually have lethal here. Wow. So they must have drawn the other madness creature this turn. So they can pump this and swing for 11, and then I'm facing down lethal on my turn. I mean, that was cool. I thought this had haste. Apparently not. But I mean, it's still lethal next turn anyway. Need an action spell. Veil doesn't do anything here. Alright, so not a typical blue deck. So I got punished for my keep. Let's try something like that, maybe? I'm a little bit weary of this deck having something like Mindbreak in the board, but we did see black, which probably means discard. Not quite sure. This is definitely a rogue deck, and that's what I'm entering it as in my spreadsheet. Jund Madness. And we're on the play for the second game. Seems fine. We're a mana off of a turn 2 ad nauseum, I believe. Or wait, or do we just have it? I think we might just have it. So strike it rich on turn 1. So that's 2 mana, 3 mana, 4 mana, 5 mana. We have guaranteed turn 2 ad naus here. I messed up. Maybe I was supposed to play out Chromox there. So it's interesting. By not playing out Chromox, we're better against Force of Vigor. But by not doing it, but the downside is if I play it next turn and do a Mindbreak Trap, I'm going to look like an idiot. Hollow One is a card that they could play here. Come on, discard that hand to diamond. Do it. I feel like I'm going to get fucking Mindbreak here. Alright, let's see if they have it. I knew it. I knew it. Alright, so we're now 2-2. I probably should have just played the Chromox on turn 1. I had a gut feeling this deck had Mindbreak, and I should have played around it. In my mind, I was like, they probably also have Force of Vigor, but they're less likely to have Mindbreak Trap. But my gut told me Trap and not Vigor. The math says you play around Vigor, but I don't know. No excuses. We're 2-2. I'll see you in round number 5. Okay, the 5th round we're facing Otaba, who has revealed a Yorion. But I remember Otaba is the Aluren player, and the last time I faced them, they also had Yorion. So I'm going to put them on Yorion Aluren, I guess. This hand is just not keepable, no mana. We're going to ship it. I don't love this, but I'm going to keep it, I guess. Don't let this start fool you. This could very easily still be Aluren. Alright. They did not shuffle their Ponder on turn 1, and now they're just passing on turn 2. We take our draw. See if we can fix this hand up. It's pretty good. So next turn we can ad nauseum with grid backup. Maybe an Ice Fang here. And it is in fact an Ice Fang. I remember their deck looking like snow until it killed me. So I think that's like part of their game plan, is just looking like a fair deck and then not being one. Come on, what's Grid going to do? Just let it resolve. It's fine. Looks like a Brainstorm. Okay. We might actually be able to Natural Storm our opponent out, assuming that this resolves. And it did. It's go time. Alright, so we have Storm 8. Burning Wish would be 9. Tendrils would be Storm 10. So we don't have a Tendrils kill. That said, we do have a pretty simple ad nauseum here. We're going to take that. So you could argue that I'm supposed to keep red floating in there because of Strike It Rich. There's only 2 Strike It Rich in the deck, and then there's 2 Red of Flame, 3 Dark Ritual. I don't know. Like, it's really close. That's going to be enough. We can stop there. Okay, so we've taken game number 1 over Yorion Aluren. Enter that into the spreadsheet. Actually, the second time I've faced Aluren in 15 matches in my new spreadsheet for Postmodern Horizons. That was a main deck Tendrils, and that was turn 4? Turn 3. Alright, their list doesn't have any Hate Bears in it, despite having white. I don't know if I'm supposed to board in, like, Chain of Vapors or something over the Strike It Riches, or if I just keep playing as is. I think I'm just going to resubmit. I'm going to trust that their last list is accurate. Sort of bummed we didn't get to cast Aeve this league. It came so close in that match against Blue Red Delver. I just don't think this hand is good. Sure. Get rid of the Badlands, most likely. It looks like our opponent also mulliganed, and now they're on the play, once again leading off on Tundra. We're going to search up Underground Sea, cast Ponder, and then next turn Brainstorm, go search up Taiga. Yes? And I think that changes things a little bit. I'm probably just going to jam Grid on turn 2 now. I have to imagine that they kept a hand with a bunch of forces if this was their keep. Yep. This is actually a pretty good spot for us to go get Galvanic Relay. And I'm going to end step cast Brainstorm because I don't have mana to do everything I want to do next turn. And whoops. And by casting Brainstorm here, I get to do everything I want while possibly drawing into cards that are good. Alright, so I probably don't want to cast all of the rituals. Get rid of this force. If they Pyroblast this Brainstorm, it's a win to me. So I believe we've played our land here. Let me scroll up, I'm sorry. I've not played a land. So this is essentially a 3-mana wheel that's one-sided at the moment. We know that Ponder and Darkrit are on the top. So this is our wheel right here. We can't hide the Burning Wishes, but everything down. Alright, so let's fetch to thin. We knew that our opponent drew birds as well. So we do have to beat a Pyroblast this turn as their only interaction. Amazing draw. They're 18. This is a pretty cool win for Galvanic Relay, in my opinion. We cannot use the alt cast of Echo Veons. So what we could do is we could hard cast it floating 3, or I can just cast Peer into the Abyss. And I think Peer into the Abyss is just better. I could also flashback Strike it Rich and Tendrils. Oh, I don't need to. That Storm count 8. Yeah, this is just going to do it. Okay. So we went 3-2. Yeah. So our loss was to the Jund Madness deck, which caught us a little bit off guard. Perhaps I misplayed in game 2. You're welcome to let me know what you thought. And then we lost to Delver with Stifles, which is probably a little bit outdated, but, you know, everyone's allowed to play whatever they'd like. Stifle's just not super common, and a card I'm really expecting to see a lot of this weekend in the Showcase Challenge. Didn't get to cast Aeve, which was a bummer. We had a sweet Galvanic Relay win, though. That's the first time I've cast this card, and it's been good. So that was good to get recorded, I think, at least. Rite of Flame seemed decent this league. In a fast format, Rite of Flame is good. Strike it Rich seemed okay. We didn't miss Chromox number 3. That's a big takeaway here, is when I cast Ad Nauseam, we didn't lose because I didn't have Chromox. Yeah, so if you thought the skipping around from the editing in this video was an issue, let me know. Let me know if you liked it. I'm interested to see how much time it takes off the video. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Still trying to figure out the list. I don't know if this is what I'll play in the showcase, but it was certainly worth testing. Unfortunately, we didn't get to cast Massacre either, even though that was a new edition. I mean, new edition, as in, like, we put it back in, not that it's a new printing. I'm rambling at this point. I'm going to say goodbye, keep storming, have a great day. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.